There's only one Mike Oldfield. 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 Hello, and welcome to episode 259 of Prog Review. And if you haven't read the title or the description, I should be talking about Robert Reid, Sanctuary. Robert Reid, he is from prog bands Cyan and Magenta. He obviously read the top line of the ZX Spectrum keyboard. That's in joke. That's for all those guys that grew up with the Spectrum. I learned the word cyan and magenta purely from the ZX Spectrum, but I digress. It's not so much how, but why. I was a bit dubious about buying this, but seeing the demos and the videos and that, I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. Give it a shot. I was kind of intrigued by it. It's called Sanctuary because Robert Reid takes sanctuary in music, and his big influence is Mike Oldfield, and this is what we get on this record. It's split into two parts. One part is 20 minutes 44 seconds long, and the other part is 18 minutes 12. And just by looking on the back, Robert Reid plays grand piano, electric guitar, and then plus tubular bells at the end, so you can see where you're going with this. Robert Reid is an incredibly talented musician. He's good at peddling a tune. He's very, very clever. But you do have to ask yourself, why? I mean, the thing about influences and really liking other artists and working them into your own creative endeavours is that you're supposed to mix a lot of influences to create something new. All art is theft. That's the idea. All creation is theft, because as an artist, we enjoy certain things, and they soak into the subconscious, and the subconscious works in a way that it filters out the bits that we don't like and keeps the bits that we do like, and then it comes out through the fingertips. That's how seemingly new things are created. The argument is that there is nothing truly new, because all art is based on looking back and looking around at a multitude of influences. Now here, Robert Reid has singled out Mike Oldfield as his influence, and he's made an album that sounds very much like a Mike Oldfield knockoff. My initial thought was it reminded me, this is for the people in England, there was a shop called Woolworths. I used to work there. I used to work behind the record bar. But in the 1970s, if you went into Woolworths, there'd be albums on display with titles like Sounds Like ABBA, and the hits of the day, and have like greatest hits albums of your number ones and that, and they'd be really cheap. And you look at it and you go, well, this is £1.50 and this ABBA album's like £3. Well, I'll take this one. Sounds Like ABBA. You get it home, and it was actually performed by like sound-alikes, and it sounded like ABBA, but it didn't quite sound like ABBA. We'll be able to get away with that now, the Trades Description Act, but that's what this reminded me of. It sounded like somebody trying to put out a fake Mike Oldfield album. Now there is actually a version of Tubular Bells. If you go on eMusic, I don't know if it's still there now, but there is a version of Tubular Bells that was recorded by somebody else, and it sounds remarkably like Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells, but it isn't. It was done at the time as a kind of a pirate copy. I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but it's like that. Now Sanctuary itself, now what it reminded me of is me. Oh no, I'm not that good, but I did an album 11 years ago now, an album called Textures, and I had specific rules that we're going to do little tiny tunes about 2 minutes long, and I'm going to somehow musically glue them together. And that's what this reminded me of, because there's no real underlying theme that resolves itself. There's just bits of song carefully glued together. And what you end up doing is you go, oh that bit sounds like the Salazar pipe. Oh, that bit sounds like that organy bit from Hergis Ridge. Oh, that's Omadorn. Oh, that bit sounds like Platinum. All incantations, very good. And you just sit there, kind of like playing Mike Oldfield bingo with it, ticking off what you think you might have heard. And I came away with it. I mean, I can't. That's the boy doing his usual thing. If you've picked that up, he's been very loud today. Yeah. So anyway, I came away with it. I had actually no memory of any of the tunes. It's not like there is there's a tune that you can whistle. I mean, I've listened to it 3 or 4 times now. Because it's like the Yes album, that bloody Yes album. There's nothing wrong with this, but there's something not right about it. It's not a sausage. This is the problem. And I've got 2 albums that, again, they sound okay, but there's just something not quite right, something missing from it. And it's the same with this. I mean, yeah, I can see it's a march. That's fair enough. And it stands up well. I mean, it's the production is fantastic. It's great in 5.1, really good in stereo. It is well made. It's a real work of art. He's worked hard on it. But you're not going to necessarily keep going back to it, because you're going to go back and listen to Mike Oldfield. You get me? You might get out for novelty. You might play it to a friend and go, "Hey, listen to this. Guess who did this?" And kind of use it like that. But musically, it doesn't quite stand up on its own. It kind of falters a bit. I mean, again, all the playing on it is brilliant. He's an amazing musician. I can't, extol his virtues more. He's done a great job. He's very, very good at what he does. But I don't know. I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to say something positive about it. I mean, again, if you're a Mike Oldfield fan, give it a listen, because this guy's done something very clever. But what he's done is he's been very smart, because what I can see this being used by is used as like library music for adverts, where they can't get copyright clearance from Mike Oldfield. They could use this record. You hear that sometimes on adverts. Oh, that sounds a bit like the hit of the day, but it isn't. They've reworked it, and I think that's what they could do with this. Is they could, he could go around and make a pretty penny on the advertising royalties, if he was so to do this. But I'm not sure exactly, what it is. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's have a look at it. It's a little standard digipack. It's a lovely bit of design there. Look at that. That's the tears of Mike Oldfield dropping into a pool and splashing up. Or is it the ejaculate of Robert Reed? I don't know. So anyway, we've got a little promo for his real band, Magenta. And then it opens up, and you've got that disc is the CD, and that disc is the DVD. I won't bother getting them out. You can see him there. Again, it's almost like Mike Oldfield boxed. You can see him there with all his instruments, looking pleased with himself, and he rightly so. He should be pleased with himself, because it is quite an achievement. And on the back, mean and moody, looking out into the horizon. What more can you want? If you're going to buy it from Robert Reed's website, because it's the cheapest place you get it, and he's quite reasonable with his postal charges. That's where I got it from. But it's a strange one. It is a strange one. Again, why does it exist? Why does anything exist? It's too much of a knockoff. Also, like I said, it doesn't sound cohesive. It sounds like lots of little musical bits smashed up and reassembled. There's no real underlying theme. There's no resolution. You don't feel like it builds and resolves itself. There's no tension and release. It's just really bits of cleverness glued together. That's it. And with that, I think I'm going to call it a day. In terms of a bloody rating, I'm going to give it 2 tubular bells out of 5. That's 2 tubular bells out of 5, because I admire Robert Reed's talent. If I had one iota of his talent, I'd be laughing gravy. But I'm not. He's a talented man, and it's a shame that for me, just for me, mind, it didn't quite work out. You know, I'm sure more of you out there, if you give it a chance, you guys might love it, but for me, I just, you know, it's a novelty record. It comes across as a novelty record. I don't want to say that, because it, you know, there's a lot of work on here, you know, and somebody makes music himself. I appreciate the work that goes into it, but it's too Mike Oldfield, even down to the guitar tones, and you know, it's uncanny. It is uncanny. But anyway, like I say, give it a chance. My name's been Darren. Look, I have been talking about Sanctuary by Robert Reed. A strange one. It's been a week of strange records. This and Heaven and Earth. It's been a weird one. But like I say, do give it a listen. Look at the videos online on YouTube. Give those a listen, and maybe give them a break. You know. And that's it. Only one more thing to say, and that is, prog on.